our way overnight tonight with a chance for things possibly to turn severe. Right now, part of our area is under a marginal risk.
We've had a great streak of weather for us so far, so we don't like to see this severe weather. As we check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale in the Weather Center for us. Riley, when can we expect things to roll through for us?
Yeah, guys, I want to emphasize that the threat, if there is any severe weather tomorrow, it's going to be tomorrow afternoon. So no risk for severe weather tonight, and I would honestly think that most of us should stay dry tonight. The rain chances really start to ramp up as we head into tomorrow morning, and especially tomorrow afternoon is when we could see a few thunderstorms roll through the area. So this is all thanks to our next approaching cold front. This is going to start increasing cloud cover tonight, and there is some rain that's close to Atlanta, but that's not really expected to be much for us by the time it does reach us later tonight. So rain chances look to be less than 10% through at least around midnight tonight. You can see tomorrow that the rain chances do start to work their way back in fairly early into the day. So even before lunchtime tomorrow, make sure you do have an umbrella close by. Now, the afternoon after lunchtime, that's when there is going to be the risk for maybe some stronger storms to develop. So definitely you need to stay weather aware out there tomorrow afternoon. Take advantage of the dry weather this evening, though. We got temps in the 70s and 60s the next several hours, but cooling off into the 50s by around 9, 10 o'clock. We'll have much more on that severe weather threat coming up in the full forecast, but let's get a quick update on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
All right, here's a live look at I-20 Riverwatch Parkway. We actually have a few breaks in the clouds right now overhead at our station, so a beautiful view here. Traffic not too bad there on the interstate or Riverwatch, so luckily a smooth sailing there for crossing the state line. Looking at Lewiston Road, exit 190 here in Columbia County. You can see Lewiston Road kind of backing up near the traffic stop right there, but not too bad out there. Dry in Columbia County today, but we'll take a look at those rain chances tomorrow for you in just about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Riley. This evening back at home, we're learning that people were injured after a helicopter caused a glass door to shatter at the Children's Hospital of Georgia, right there in the medical district. This happening at the Chick-fil-A on the hospital campus. A statement by the spokesperson with the hospital says there were only minor injuries which were promptly treated at the hospital's emergency department. The cause of this incident is still under investigation, and we will continue to bring you live updates of this on air and online.
The man behind a deadly shooting in 2018 that killed 2 Florence County officers and injured 5 others will spend the rest of his life behind bars. This afternoon, a judge sentenced Fred Hopkins to life in prison on 2 counts of murder and 30 years each on the 5 attempted murder charges. The judge hopes the sentence will bring closure to families and the community.
4 inmates were able to escape from a county jail because of staffing shortages. That's according to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office as the search for those 4 inmates continues this evening. They managed to break out of the jail early Monday morning by slipping through a broken window and through a hole cut in the fence. They had a getaway car that you see here on your screen waiting for them, and they have not been seen since that point. Both the Bibb County Sheriff and the County Commissioner say ongoing issues at the jail played a role in this escape.
Issue for staffing, the conditions of the jail. We have a 43-year-old jail.
I think that community conversation on law enforcement, on public safety has got to happen, and it's got to happen soon.
The FBI is now offering up to a $25,000 reward for each of the 4 missing inmates.
South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster is ordering all solicitors in the state to give a 10-day notice in advance of filing any early release motions for inmates. Now, this comes after Jared Price, a South Carolina man sentenced to 35 years in prison for murder, was released 16 years early. Now, days later, the Supreme Court reversed that ruling and ordered Price to return to prison, setting off an 11-week manhunt before he was taken back into custody. Governor McMaster also requested Attorney General Alan Wilson to review the early release motions just to make sure that they comply with state law.
The family of an inmate who was stabbed to death inside the Fulton County Jail is calling for a criminal investigation into the facility. The family of 23-year-old Davion Blake says he was stabbed to death by rival inmates. Family says they were placed together on an isolation unit that has a documented history of malfunctioning cell locks and failing infrastructure. Blake's death marked the 10th in-custody death at the Fulton County Jail just this year alone. Several other families of inmates killed are signaling they plan to file lawsuits over mismanagement and neglect at the jail.
The Department of Justice is already investigating conditions and mistreatment inside the Fulton County Jail. In an effort to better monitor inmates, county commissioners approved more than $2 million for wristbands that would monitor inmates' vitals and alert jailers if something was wrong. But now commissioners have voted to rescind all of that funding. This is because by July, commissioners expected 500 inmates to have the bracelets. But as of last month, only a handful had the tech. Conversations continue into where to move inmates now to ease the overwhelmed jail.
Well, stop, drop, and roll. That's what we know to do during a fire. But emergency management officials say all South Carolinians need to know what to do during an earthquake, which is drop, cover, and hold on.
Our State House reporter Mary Green has more on a worldwide drill that took place today to highlight the importance of this knowledge.
More than 320,000 people across South Carolina registered to take part in the annual Great Shakeout Earthquake Drill on Thursday, including some here at the state's Emergency Management Division in Lexington County.
The epicenter of the largest earthquake ever recorded along the eastern United States was outside of Charleston on 31st of August, 1886. And the 7.3 magnitude earthquake devastated the region and was felt from Chicago to Cuba. Studies indicate an earthquake of similar magnitude today would be catastrophic.
Scientists say they can't predict when an earthquake will hit in South Carolina, a state they say is vulnerable to earthquake activity from the upstate down to the low country. So emergency management officials say it's crucial for South Carolinians to prepare for one now. They should do that by securing furniture and loose belongings, knowing what's in their insurance policy, and prepping disaster supply kits that can get them through at least 3 days.
This is an earthquake drill. Right now, drop, cover, and hold on.
As they did during Thursday's drill, they also encouraged South Carolinians to practice what to do in an earthquake. Drop, cover, and hold on.
Drop where you are onto your hands and knees. Cover your head and neck with one arm and hand as you call for shelter under a nearby table or desk. And hold on to your shelter with one hand until the shaking stops.
Thursday's drill also coincides with Earthquake Preparedness Week here in South Carolina. Reporting Lexington County, I'm Mary Green.
All right, thanks, Mary. Sometimes our pets are what help keep us sane, but for domestic violence survivors, it can be incredibly difficult to keep their furry friends when getting support. Just ahead, we'll show you a nonprofit working to help survivors and their pets stick together. Riley?
And we've been mostly dry this week, but we are bringing back the chance for not only rain tomorrow, but also some thunderstorms that could be on the stronger side. Look at that forecast for you just after the break.
Time and temp.
All right, welcome back, folks, to the live look from our Thurman Dam Cam, and two lucky guys actually getting to get some fishing in this afternoon. So this is actually on the river side of the dam, so they're actually fishing in that flow there where they are releasing a good bit of water out there this afternoon. And unfortunately, it looks like our tower cam may have froze right there, but a beautiful afternoon to be outside enjoying the great outdoors. We got temperatures currently in the low 70s across the area, so haven't really seen our forecast change too much over the last couple of days, but things will be changing tomorrow, all thanks to a cold front moving in from the west. This is kicking up some showers and storms already well west of us, and this is going to time out the rain to most likely start impacting us as we head into late tonight and early tomorrow morning. So you can see our rain chances heading into tomorrow, especially after 8 a.m. through lunchtime. That's when we're expecting our first round of rain, and then we're likely going to see a second round later into the afternoon and just before sunset. So during that time frame between the afternoon and before sunset, that's where there could be some thunderstorms out there that could possibly impact you heading home from school tomorrow afternoon. So just a heads up, want to make sure you are staying weather aware. Main threat with those storms out there tomorrow afternoon is going to be strong straight line winds and potentially some hail. The good news is most of that wet weather does push out during game time for high school football tomorrow night. So right around kickoff, not going to rule out there's one or two games that maybe see a few raindrops, but by halftime and especially into the second half, we should be drying things out. Just going to be a little bit breezy out there and cooling things off behind that cold front. Here's the way it is looking for our severe weather outlook. You can see it is a marginal risk across the majority of the CSRA. So not expecting a ton of severe storms, but just can't rule out that one or two of those that do pop up tomorrow afternoon. could briefly produce those strong winds. Here's a look at how it's shaping up on our hour-by-hour forecast. So just seeing building cloud cover into this evening and tonight. Once we get up early tomorrow morning, we'll likely be tracking this line of just kind of broken showers and maybe an isolated storm mixed in this morning wave, but not expecting a severe weather threat early. You can see our temperatures will be in the 50s, so that just won't support any severe storms out there before lunchtime. Once we get into the afternoon, you can see there is going to be a break, so this will be kind of round one that pushes through. Will likely stay dry for several hours, and that could help just kind of heat us up and destabilize our atmosphere enough to maybe produce a spotty shower storm, and that's where the severe weather threat will come into play. So anything that's popping up after that second wave will just have the ability to maybe produce some strong winds and some heavy rainfall. By the time we get to around game time, though, tomorrow night, this is between 7 and 8 o'clock tomorrow, you can see most of that rain is now moving well east of Augusta, and we should see generally clear skies Friday night into Saturday morning, and a beautiful weekend on tap for us. Here's a look at our rain totals. So this hasn't really changed too much. If you get underneath a thunderstorm, you could pick up over half an inch, but if you just stay on the outskirts with showers, you're not likely going to see rain totals that look all too impressive. Also going to be pretty breezy out there tomorrow afternoon. We could see winds gusting over 20, 25 miles an hour at times, and that will continue into our Saturday as well. Once we get past the weekend, we are going to see beautiful weather next week, lots of sunshine and cooler than average temperatures Monday through next Thursday.
All right, thanks, Riley. Oftentimes, domestic violence survivors have to give up their furry companions in order to stay at a shelter, which can cause even more stress during a vulnerable time.
But as Mackenzie Petrie shows us, a Georgia nonprofit is working to keep domestic violence survivors and their pets together.
Since 2012, Wrdw has been working to keep survivors with their pets through a safe housing grants program. And since 2016, they've been partnering with Greater Good charities to bring renovations to domestic violence shelters so survivors can bring their pets with them in a time of need.
In the United States, there are only approximately 19% of the domestic violence shelters that take pets, and it's a real barrier to people being able to get safe.
About 50% of survivors delay leaving their abusers because they cannot take their pet with them. Once this renovation here behind me is complete, the Liberty House will be the only pet-friendly shelter out of 17 southwestern counties in Georgia.
91% of those survivors said that, my pet brings me emotional healing and emotional support. And so we just think it's extremely important to be able to preserve that human-animal bond and really keep survivors and their pets safe and together.
The new pet retreat style build will have space for 3 families with pets. It will look like a small living room instead of a kennel and will have a television, couch, and small pet door so pets can take themselves outside when needed.
We really strongly believe that pets are part of the healing process, and this style of housing pets and people together really allows a survivor to heal with their pet. Pets can heal, the people can heal, and really preserve the human-animal bond.
The 2 organizations recently launched a campaign to help make sure that 25% of domestic violence shelters are pet-friendly by 2025 in the United States. This shelter puts them at about 19%, but they say they're up for a challenge.
Nowadays, some of our favorite TV shows and movies are filmed right here in Georgia, but what helps solidify Georgia as a movie powerhouse? Just ahead, we'll show you.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
For some people, getting
To only the finest in men's clothing.
Well, Stranger Things, Avengers, Endgame, Forrest Gump, so many popular movies and TV shows have been filmed right here in Georgia.
But did you know what movie put Georgia on the path to becoming Hollywood's southern home? Well, Alan Delvin shows us.
Well, let's go to the start of it, which is delivery.
Yup, that's it. According to many industry experts far and wide, the 1972 American thriller Deliverance was the film that put the Georgia film industry on the map. So I swung by an iconic spot in Georgia film, the Silver Skillet in Midtown. I was listing out places we could do this interview, and I listed the Silver Skillet. You're like, let's go to the Silver Skillet. It's basically my second home. And met with a man who's been involved in the business since the beginning.
Really and truly.
And who knows all about Deliverance. Talk to me about that movie, the production, and the aftermath of having a movie like that catch fire.
So what it really did is it said, we want to Los Angeles, to the filmmakers, it said, we want you here, number one. Number two, it said, we can make this work for you.
The river riding film starring John Voight and Burt Reynolds, along with others, details the trip of some Atlanta businessmen canoeing down a river up in North Georgia and running into some not-so-friendly locals. That river, the Chattooga. Those locals, Rabun County's own.
If I lived in Rabun County at the time, I might have had some raised eyebrows about suggesting that you film this here. But the community said, no, let's give it a shot. And that was important. The idea that they said, we're willing to work with you. Big deal.
My name is Jimmy Carter.
And after that movie erupted into the national spotlight, Governor Jimmy Carter was the one that said, wait a minute, we can have something here, forming the state's film commission to build on Deliverance's success.
It was about jobs, pure and simple. It was pretty small, but it was infinite. But everybody was very eager, very willing to work together and to work hard to try and get something done. And look where we are now.
And because of that river riding thriller and a little help from a peanut farmer, the Hollywood of the South pressed play. And the rest is history.
All right, well, it is Thursday, so that means we have our latest winner for the Plunkett Heating and Air Sunshade Giveaway. Congratulations to Fran Alpaw from Waynesboro, Georgia. To get your own sunshade, just go to WRDW.com, click on contest, and you can enter your email right there. Then look at the forecast for you coming up just after a short break.
It's Duck.
Hey, it's Anna Christina here, inviting you to take advantage of our spooky good savings this Halloween season on our mattress and furniture sale. All of our current inventory of Beauty Rest, Tempur-Pedic, Sierra Sleep, and Stearns & Foster will be up to $1,000 off per mattress. As always, we offer 36 months of interest-free financing for all your furniture needs. 2 miles off exit 190 on the corner of Horizon South Parkway. Jimmy and his son Alex want to thank you for supporting your local furniture store. Jimmy's Home Furnishings, where it feels like home.
A Southern Georgia soccer team going above and beyond for their service project. At the beginning of the year, the Valdosta High School soccer team decided they would send 2 sets of their old uniforms all the way to an orphanage in Djibouti.
Now, they were able to do this thanks to help from different contacts within their school who were able to get them in touch with the Moody Air Force Base to transport the uniforms and other soccer supplies. Thanks to the Wildcats, there are now 2 teams in Djibouti with the uniforms and supplies to play soccer and the team there.
That's
cool
so
stuff.
cool.
I like to see stuff like that going on.
Yeah, and I like that they sent a picture
Yeah,
with the uniform. So now basically they have like a brother and sister school.
yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Now they can play each other with uniforms.
Yeah.
Very cool. Always good to recycle, reuse, repurpose, and love to see that in action. So good stuff out there. Hey, beautiful weather this afternoon. Whether you're hitting the river, the canal trail, or maybe just heading out to get a bite to eat, we got clear skies for the most part. Comfortable temperatures still in the low 70s here around Augusta, and expecting temperatures to stay a little bit warmer tonight. Not going to be quite as cool as what we've seen the past couple of nights. So most likely staying 70s, 60s next couple of hours. And once that sun goes away, we should dip into the 50s. But for the most part, a nice evening on tap. You can see that cloud cover will start to build, and that is going to be a sign of some rain moving in tomorrow. So make sure you do have the rain gear handy Friday. We're expecting a chance for some showers before lunchtime, and then maybe even a straight thunderstorm in the afternoon. Some of those could be strong, so keep it here for those weather updates the next couple of days.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break as News 12 Live at 5 continues.